Rajiv Saran, IT Manager, Springfield, Virginia, USA. Saturday mornings with Neil G. this year have brought forth a singular aspect, namely, do your part in life. Coming to terms with this dimension in one's day-to-day life has unfolded incalculable mahatma for my career, my family interaction and my life compass. Also, this year, I have been remiss in not setting aside regular niyam time for Patanjali Yoga Sutra chanting. Sincerely, Rajiv Saran, November 30th, 2007. Neilji's class. I continue to participate in Yoga Sutras of Patanjali class, and benefit from the wonderful gift of chanting in Sanskrit as well as Neilji's hospitality of garam chai. I encourage anyone interested in the subject area of stilling the mind to enroll in Neilji's class. As a student, you may even be the beneficiary of his uncanny brand of humor. Au. December 26, 2006. I am a student of Neil Kulkarni and started Patanjali Yoga Sutra study in the fall of 2005. I consider myself fortunate to be learning the text from someone who has a solid grasp of Sanskrit and makes it appear as if it is his native language. Neil is deeply committed to chanting the sutrams, and I am therefore the beneficiary of the oral tradition of learning as well. I must confess the clarity of the philosophy contained in the Yoga Sutra text has not been entirely approachable in portions of the first pada. However, Neil has been both flexible and patient to go over the tenets as often required. The initiation to the philosophy of Patanjali Yoga Sutra has made me curious on the practitioner aspects of Chit Vritti Nirod. I feel fortunate to have been recommended to this class by my yoga teacher, Nanda Bondade. December 16, 2005. Cecile Poyet, Virginia and California, USA. Neil has been my yoga instructor since 2007. He has taught me the most fundamental yoga concepts and practices. This has deeply changed my life, changes that will stay with me forever. Besides the most visible benefits related to better quality of sleep and healthier eating habits, I have seen myself becoming a calmer, more balanced, peaceful and satisfied person. Every day, I enjoy exploring my spirituality and divine nature further. These evolutions would not have been possible without Neil's dedication, patience, and teachings. I am very grateful to him for being my yoga instructor and to life for having made our paths cross. May every person on a spiritual path find such a helpful source of inspiration and universal love. December 24, 2011. Hi Neil, thank you so much for offering me a special last yoga class. I am sorry I had to miss your class today and had not been able to say goodbye properly. However, I would like you to know that it does not change anything to the wonderful teaching you have been giving to me over the past months. Many things have been changing in my life in a very positive way since I started yoga classes with you. And I know I still have many things to learn, which is great. I feel very lucky I met you and Nancy. You are both very special people and you really became my yoga family, as Nancy once said. I have been enjoying every time I have been sharing with you. Thank you very much again for offering me a yoga class tonight or tomorrow. I will not be able to make it, not only because I have to finish packing my stuff and have no car anymore, but also because I do not like goodbyes much, smiley face. Take great care of you, both of you. I will certainly give you news from California. Namaste, Cecile, June 21, 2008. Before starting yoga courses with Neil, I had been thinking for more than 1 year about doing yoga. I probably did not dare to try because I was aware that it could open things in me that would be over my control, like when I studied philosophy in college. Finally, after moving to Northern Virginia, and knowing that I would stay in the area for a little while, I thought that I should really give a try. I had a look on internet and found Neil's website. I sent him an email and, 10 days later, had my first course of yoga. I liked it right away. At that time in my life, I was looking for a new approach about food, exercise, and mental balance. I read Neil's book and understood right away that yoga could help me significantly. I also understood that everyone has to find her own approach. Yoga is something really personal and individual. This is the reason why Neil is doing a fantastic job. He is able to share with his students his own knowledge of yoga, to provide them guidelines and, ultimately, to help them find their own way. He is always willing to answer their questions directly linked to practice, but also questions about the more global discipline that yoga is, life, death, sleep, emotions, while having a realistic and wide enough approach so everyone can find her own way. Philosophy lessons are, in that regard, a privileged time to exchange ideas and develop a wider understanding of yoga. I personally found many answers and formulated many questions while reading Neil's book, Health and Yoga Aphorisms, of C-Tech, the authentic yoga school with commentary. I am currently traveling extensively for my job. I miss Neil's courses, but I was lucky enough to meet him at a calmer time in my life during which I built the ability to practice on my own. I am also very lucky I read his book. I Calm. John Kovac, harpist and harpmaker, Front Royal, Virginia. I have been taking yoga instruction with Neil for 2 years. Prior to this, I have taken yoga instruction at health clubs for about 3 years, and I was benefited by them as well. However, I felt intimidated by keeping with instructors and students who were better at the yoga exercises than myself. I went to Neil specifically because I had a severe case of sciatica and the acupuncture failed to remedy it. Chiropractics was of some benefit. I derived the maximum and full benefit and recovery due to Neil's individualized yoga routine. He was giving me fewer exercises to do but telling me to concentrate and do them well. The exercises were much less stressful, but involved relaxed stretching, which was challenging and which I feel took me to the very basics of yoga. I also like his approach where he asked me what particularly I wanted out of yoga. Obviously, I wanted to improve my musical skills as I am a professional harpmaker and harp player, in addition to recovery from sciatica. It is difficult to say what yoga is doing exactly since it benefits us in so many ways, but I am sure that Neil's measured instruction has been of immense benefit to me at many levels, health-wise, mentally, and musically. Neil is very knowledgeable about human body in yoga, and has obviously devoted his life to the practice of this discipline. This is not just a part-time thing with Neil. I would highly and unadvisedly recommend Neil to anyone who is either beginning yoga, or someone who wants to take it to higher levels. Neil really knows what he is doing. October 2, 2003. I am a professional musician. Thanks to Neil's authentic yoga, my teaching and overall musicianship have benefited immensely. Thanks to Neil's instruction. Also, I suffered from sciatica pain which the acupuncture failed to remedy. A few yoga exercises instructed by Neil helped immensely. John Kovac. December 20, 2002. John Kovac. www.johnkovac.com. Bill Sackhaw, nurse scientist, Alexandria, Virginia. I have been studying for a year now with Neil. He is a very good teacher and is extremely knowledgeable about the benefits of yoga. I feel that I have made gradual progress in doing the poses so that I get the maximum benefit from them, both physically and spiritually. My ability to focus and my endurance for aerobic exercise have been enhanced by the practice of yoga. In addition, one of my goals was weight loss, and yoga has helped me in that respect as well. Yoga has definitely been a welcome addition to my life and has enhanced my overall feeling of well-being. October 16, 2002. Anandi, Sandra, May, yoga teacher, Alexandria, Virginia. I have known Neil for a number of years, meeting him at a satsang at Yogaville. I am a yoga teacher since 1992, certified in integral yoga and Sampurna yoga, Yogi Hari. I must admit that I am totally impressed with the method taught by Mr. Kulkarni. I teach from my home and invited Neil to teach on a few occasions. I attended the class myself, and I and my students were very inspired by his style of teaching. He began by talking about yoga, why we do it, and the many benefits derived from the practice of yoga and the impact on the entire system, body, mind, and spirit. The hatha portion was different from what I normally practice, but I felt energized and uplifted. Neil ended the class with a deep relaxation as he played a recording of himself chanting Om Shanti. His knowledge of Sanskrit and Vedas is very inspiring. Neil's profound dedication to teaching yoga and its philosophy are something very special, and I feel that yoga community will greatly benefit by having such an outstanding, unique, and authentic yoga teacher. September 18, 2001. Anandi, Sandra, May. Borders Bookstore book opening, Springfield, Virginia. Very well done. Interesting, knowledgeable. Good audience participation. Very able to answer questions. Great topic for the area. An attendant, Borders. June 19, 2000. Whole Foods Market, Springfield, Virginia. This was a fun and thorough introductory yoga class. The principles were taught and I enjoyed it very much. Please have more. An attendee. I found the class very informative. An attendee. I particularly found the demo part of the lesson to be useful. Thank you. An attendee. This was a very informative class for a beginner like myself. A great introduction to yoga. An attendee. Health and Yoga System by Neil Kulkarni, good class. I enjoyed this introduction to yoga and am anxious to start beginning a class. An attendee. Very informative for the beginning yoga person. Instructor was extremely knowledgeable. Very good. An attendee. Thank you for the demonstration. I like the idea of learning more than the poses. An attendee. Very nice session. Lots of information. Very interesting. Good instruction and good explanations. An attendee. This class was very informative. The presentation was well organized. An attendee January 20, 2001. Whole Foods Market. Bryan, Unitarian Church, Virginia. 1. Benefits. Renewed interest in yoga. Upper body and back strengthening. Increased confidence in more difficult poses. 2. Goal. My goal was to find an appropriate teacher, one who would challenge me and discover my weaknesses. Have accomplished both. 3. Very light and friendly atmosphere. Attentive instruction. Well-rounded introduction to yoga and all its facets. 4. I would only improve the location. I am used to hardwood floors. As far as other classes go, I still need to work out my hectic schedule, but Sunday and Friday look like good options. Namaste. Winter 2001. Bryan. Northern Virginia Community College. Northern Virginia Community College, Alexandria, Virginia. Mr. Kulkarni is very skilled and knowledgeable in the yoga principles. I enjoyed the class very much. November 8, 2001. George Mason University, Fall 2002, Virginia. Excellent instruction, accommodations for student levels. Very responsive to student concerns and desires. Would like to know the names of poses and their purpose. Achievement: the permanent knot in my shoulder is gone, also less tense overall. Thanks for not trying to make me turn into pretzel. Linda V. Lindav at CEC. Sped. Org. Appreciate very much the individualized instruction. The class has been great experience. You have challenged us all, but paying attention to the capabilities of each student, you have been able to get all of us to extend to our limits. Your sense of humor, knowledge, and insight have made the class interesting and informative. I look forward to the next one. Thanks, Neil. John V.K. John N. Lindavk at hotmail.com. This yoga class introduced me to a number of challenging, and actually strengthening poses. I can actually do a headstand. Flexibility is a work in progress. Website graphics are good for practice. And always wear a smiley face, teacher's voice is inspiring and amusing too. Lots of fun. Fran. Plato42324 at yahoo.com. I have been enjoying this class and hope we might do something that can use more strength in our next session. Jan Lichang at yahoo.com. Goal is scorpion pose. Achieved full lotus position. Instruction is excellent and instructor is excellent. Rana. I have achieved my goal of more flexibility and loosening my lower back. I hope to continue. Stefan Roth. I enjoyed this session very much. The teacher has been, as always, very kind and focused on the class and the needs of the students. In addition, the other students have been much more responsible and regular than in the previous sessions, so this has contributed a lot to the success of each class. The new elements added to this class, such as the music during yoga practice, have made the class much more enjoyable. Also, the recorded explanations have been very beneficial and focused on topics demanded by the students. The teacher was always on time and he stayed even longer than the class schedule. Thus, we had a lot of opportunities for yoga practice, relaxation, and personal improvement. I am very glad I took this class. See you next semester. Esperanza. A good course. I am more flexible now than when I started. Neil makes yoga easy to understand for the novice. John. Best of the 3 semesters I have been attending. S.G. November 22, 2002. George Mason University.